Hello, welcome back to Lunch Bunch. I'm reading a short story from Geektastic, Stories from the Nerd Herd, edited by Holly Black and Cecil Castellucci. The story I'm reading is called The Stars at the Finish Line by Wendy Mass. It's about Tabitha and Petra. Petra's our narrator. We think they both want to be astronauts, but then we find out that Petra actually gets carsick and does not want to go out into space. She does like stars, she likes astronomy, but she doesn't want to be an astronaut. But at this point, she has fallen in love with Tabitha and does not want to stop the competition that is between them as they both, try to get good grades and are good on their physical and things like that so they can get into NASA. So now Tabitha is going to compete in a marathon of looking up items in the night sky, something that Petra has done before and is doing again, but Tabitha just found out about it. So Petra volunteered to help her out with that. I gently placed my telescope in the back of the purple VW van Tabitha borrowed from her uncle for the trip. My eyes land on the big box next to it and almost pop out of my head. You've got to be kidding me. That's what you're bringing? Tabitha shuts the back of the van, barely missing my fingers, and puts her hands on her hips. What's wrong with it? It's a top-of-the-line computerized telescope. Exactly, I reply, following her around the side of the van. You can't do the Messier Marathon with a go-to. That's cheating. She climbs into the driver's seat and closes the door. I hurry around to the other side and slide in. I'm not sure how she became the one organizing this trip, but I should have expected as much. The ancient van groans and sputters, but finally starts. She pulls away from the curb in front of my house, the clutch grinding into second gear. It's going to be a long 5 hours. Using a computerized telescope isn't cheating, she insists, reaching behind her to pull a bag of pretzels out from the stash of healthy food she packed. She offers me some. I shake my head and pull out a Charleston Chew instead. I had frozen it in preparation for the drive, and it's still cold. You'll never pass the NASA physical if you eat like that, she says. That won't be for years from now. She shrugs. Suit yourself. I take a big bite off the end and take my time chewing. I don't want to antagonize her, but as much as the two of us have wanted to get ahead, we've never cheated. At least, I haven't. I didn't even bring my equatorial mount, because using the setting circles feels like cheating. Tabitha, I say as gently as possible, don't you think it's cheating if you plug in the coordinates of each item on the list and then wait for your telescope to go to them? Where's the challenge in that? How are you learning your way around the night sky? Instead of answering, she empties her bag of pretzels into her mouth, which I have to admit is impressive. Even the way she chomps on pretzels, crumbs and salt dotting her lips, is cute. She swallows and says, I've been doing some reading. The point of the Messier Marathon isn't to learn the night sky. The point is simply to see all 110 objects. How you find them doesn't matter. Technically, she's right. Plus, she adds, I only had 3 days to prepare. If someone had told me about this earlier, I would have been able to learn the major constellations, and then maybe I'd have a chance with a regular scope. But since no one told me, I had to rent this one. By sheer force of will, I don't answer. Instead, I say, why don't I just go over how things are going to work when we get there? Oh, so now you're going to help me? I gnaw hard on my Charleston Chew so I don't say something I'll regret. I gulp down half my water bottle. If you'd rather do it all on your own, be my guest. No, I want your help. She glances fleetingly in my direction. Our eyes meet for a second, and even though she drives me crazy, my heart skips a beat. So, I explain how I've made a chart of when each object will rise and set, and how we have to find them in this precise order, or we'll miss them. I explain how the club chose this location because it has the clearest line of sight in all directions. Some objects will be very close to the horizon, and even a small hill could block out a whole galaxy. The fastest setting objects, the spiral galaxies M77, M74, and M33, will be fighting the twilight, so they'll be really hard to see. And in the morning, M30 will be the biggest challenge, because it'll be practically dawn and it's only 1 degree above the horizon. We'll just use my scope, she says confidently when I finish my little lesson. I shake my head. Nope, we can't use yours during twilight. We'll have to do those early ones the old-fashioned way. She glances over again. This time, she looks almost impressed. I got my Messier certificate a few years ago, I explained. That means I've seen all the objects on the list. Never in one night, though. So why do you want to do this if you've already seen them all? Her question takes me by surprise. Well, to be honest, it's the only thing I haven't done before. What? Doing the Messier Marathon is the only thing you haven't done before? Her voice takes on a teasing tone, and for a second I feel naked. I hurry to answer before my cheeks grow any hotter. I mean, astronomy-wise, of course. I've gone through all the observing programs that the Amateur Astronomy Association offers. I start ticking them off on my fingers. I got my Sky Puppy pin when I was 10, my Lunar Club pin at 11, She starts laughing. I'm sorry, your Sky Puppy pin? I cross my arms over my chest. Hey, don't knock the Sky Puppy. It took me a year to earn that one. You have to be able to point out 15 constellations and find 5 deep sky objects like the ones we'll be seeing tonight. Plus, you have to be able to tell stories, like myths, about 2 of the constellations and how they got up in the sky. That's hard when you're just a kid. I'm sure it is, she says in mock seriousness. I guzzle some more water and change the subject. You brought everything I told you to, right? It gets really cold out there at night, especially when you're mostly standing still. She pushes her sunglasses up onto her head. I know it gets cold at night, Petra. I've lived here 8 years. 8 years, 2 months, 3 days. Wait, did I say that out loud? I sink down in my seat. Please don't let me have said that out loud. Please don't let me have said that out loud. For a minute, I think I've escaped. Then the van swerves and I grab the side of the door. Why would you remember that? She asks, suspiciously. I can't look at her. I just remember how long it's been since our, competition started. Our competition? She repeats. Now I turn to stare, a tingly feeling creeping up my spine. The whole bring it on thing? Her brows furrow. You mean like the movie? She really doesn't remember. My mind races to all the things I've done over the past 8 years because I thought I had to keep up with her. I can't believe it was completely one-sided. How could I have thought that someone like Tabitha would ever really care what I was doing? Such an idiot. I shiver, even though it's warm in the van. A small choking sound escapes my throat. Hey, don't choke, Tabitha says, handing me the water bottle I put on the seat next to me. I'm just busting you. Of course we're in a competition. If it wasn't for you, I'd have seen that cheerleading movie, or maybe even been a cheerleader, or had a boyfriend, or a girlfriend, or gone to parties, or done a single thing, just for fun. Relief floods through me, literally warming me up again. When my heart rate returns to normal, I say, so just to get this straight, you're blaming me for all the things you didn't get to do? And to think, I've been crediting you for all the things I have been able to do. She shrugs. As my dad always says, that's what makes horse races. Wait, what does that even mean? If everyone thought the same way, they'd all bet on the same horse, and where's the fun in that? Tonight will prove which one of us really has what it takes. Which one of us belongs in the stars, and which on the ground. Does it have to be one or the other? Why can't we both get what we want? Have you ever heard of 2 people from the same high school becoming astronauts? 2 women? I scan my memory and shake my head. She continues, her hands gripping the wheel so tight her knuckles whiten. It's even harder for women. Did you know Judith Rossner got a perfect score on her SATs? That's what it's going to take for me. Or you. This was probably as good a time as any to tell her she didn't have to worry about me taking her spot, since I'm not planning on being an astronaut. But she's not done talking. Hey, listen, I only half meant it about resenting you for making me miss things. Just knowing you were trying to achieve the same thing made me work so much harder. It was worth missing out a few stupid parties. So, seriously, thank you for always breathing down my neck. She laughs. And I mean that literally. Sometimes I can actually feel your breath on my neck in class. I redden again. Darn that alphabetical order. 1 more year, she says, her usual look of determination on her face. Then we'll go our separate ways. Me to MIT, and you to anywhere else. She grins at me. I grin back. If I tell her the truth now, she might not work so hard. I wouldn't want her to lose her focus senior year. So I lean back and enjoy the ride. All right, we will pause there again. And next time we will finish up. We will see what happens if they complete the marathon and if Petra ever lets Tabitha know that she's not actually planning on becoming an astronaut. All right, Thank you for listening. Bye.